Hello to my channel Chinese Star. Today we will bring you the following hot and exciting news.
With a loss of over 300 million, the box office of The Legend of the Condor Heroes suffered a setback. Even the first director in film history could not save the box office of the martial arts film The Legend of the Condor Heroes. The box office collapsed, and the loss exceeded 300 million. It was said to be the trend of traffic star movies. Xiao Zhan and Zhang Daifui's acting skills are average, but the 27-year-old Zhang Wenxin performed brilliantly. Director Tsui Hark was accused of the biggest problem. The reputation and box office of the work declined, the film narrative was scattered, the action scenes were perfunctory, and the big scenes were missing. It is obvious that no matter how hard the fans try, the box office collapse of The Legend of the Condor Heroes can no longer be stopped. Although it is known as the strongest Spring Festival file in film history, it is disappointing that nearly half of the Spring Festival blockbusters are facing the dilemma of losses, especially the 27-year-old The Legend of the Condor Heroes. The greatest hero became the pre-sale champion with the support of fans before its release. Unexpectedly, after its release, this champion became a joke. With a loss of over 300 million, the box office of The Legend of the Condor Heroes collapsed, but this 27-year-old actress is really amazing. The box office of The Legend of the Condor Heroes is actually a typical trend of traffic star movies. Generally speaking, traffic stars have fans, and pre-sales and first-day box office are often very high. For example, last year, Wang Junkei's 749 Bureau was the first in the National Day pre-sale, and the box office on the first day of its release was as high as 175 million, winning the first-day championship of the National Day. However, the movie soon plummeted, and the final box office was only 375 million. The box office distribution was extremely strange, and the first day accounted for nearly half of the final box office. This shows that apart from fans, there are not many passers-by who come to support. This is also the reason why many blockbusters in recent years dare not promote traffic stars. The Legend of the Condor Heroes is courageous and puts all the box office hopes on Xiao Zhan's fans. The result is that the pre-sale box office of the movie exceeded 350 million. As of 11 o'clock on January 31st, it has been released for 3 days and the cumulative box office is only 455 million. The proportion of the box office is at the bottom, and the attendance rate is extremely low. According to this trend, the final box office of the movie is 700 million, which means that pre-sales account for half of the total box office, which is simply a copy of the trend of 749 Bureau. It's just that the reputation of Nezha 2 this year is amazing, plus the previous film's box office of 5 billion and 140 million viewers. This made The Legend of the Condor Heroes fail even faster. According to reports, the production and publicity costs of The Legend of the Condor Heroes this time are more than 500 million. According to the 37% share of the box office taken by the film company, even if the final box office of The Legend of the Condor Heroes exceeded 700 million, the loss is more than 300 million, which is one of the worst blockbusters in this year's Spring Festival. Many bad reviews on the internet were given to the leading actors for this box office collapse, but I think this is unfair. Xiao Zhan and Zhang Daifui's acting skills are indeed average, but not as bad as imagined, and for a martial arts film that focuses on action, it's okay as long as the male and female protagonists have good looks. The goddesses of Hong Kong classic martial arts films such as Guan Xilin and Li Jiaxin are not known for their acting skills. Xiao Zhan actually has no big problems in acting and action. Although Zhang Daifui has been complained a lot, it is mainly because the role setting of Wang Rong this time is too weird. Hu Zheng, played by 27-year-old Zhang Wenxin, is amazing in the film. As soon as she appeared, she gave people a sense of the straightforwardness of a prairie princess. She was smart and dared to love and hate throughout the film. You see, this is the charm of the character setting. A good movie may be ruined by a bad actor, but a bad movie is rarely saved by an actor. In my opinion, the biggest problem of The Legend of the Condor Heroes is the director Tsui Hark. I sighed. The first director in film history has revealed his true colors. Although Tsui Hark has been used as a selling point before the film was released, the reputation and box office of Tsui Hark's works in recent years are a bit hard to describe. At present, Tsui Hark's personal director box office is as high as 15 billion, the first director in Chinese film history. It looks very bluffing, but 9.8 billion of this 15 billion came from the Changjin Lake series. It is obvious that Wu Jing carried the box office of this series. Chen Cage is the chief director, and Tsui Hark and Lin Chaoxin are mainly responsible for the action scenes. In recent years, Tsui Hark's truly independent directorial work Detective D, The Four Heavenly Kings grossed 606 million yuan, and Journey to the West, Conquering the Demons grossed 1.652 billion yuan, but this film featured Stephen Chow, and another film he produced, The Thousand Faces of Dunjia, grossed 299 million yuan and had average reviews. It can be seen that Tsui Hark's so-called first director is completely a gimmick. At the age of 74, he no longer understands the current market and audience. It sounds like you are not very satisfied with the film, especially its narrative structure and content arrangement. From your description, it seems that the film has certain defects in plot coherence and information transmission, which makes it difficult for the audience to get an ideal viewing experience regardless of whether they are familiar with the original novel of The Legend of the Condor Heroes. Tsui Hark has been recognized for his innovation and visual style in the field of martial arts films in the past, but if the action scenes this time cannot achieve enough shocking effects, it may be difficult to make up for the weak plot. Do you want to add a more compact plot or more rich character creation? It seems that you are very disappointed with the fighting design of this martial arts film, especially for the most critical martial arts scenes in martial arts films, which feel that they are not as shocking and charming as they should be. One of the essences of martial arts films is its swift and exquisite martial arts duel, but this time the 18 palms of the dragon subduing seems to have been endowed with superhero-like skills, lacking the hardcore temperament and realism that it should have. If the 18 palms of the dragon subduing in The Legend of the Condor Heroes is presented only through cheap lighting effects and overly cool special effects, without showing the power and connotation of the martial arts itself, it is indeed difficult for people to resonate. The charm of martial arts films is not only the visual effects of fighting, but more importantly, the chivalrous spirit and character growth behind it. Therefore, if the fighting scenes lack a sense of reality and impact, it is difficult for the audience to feel the emotional entanglement between the characters and the advancement of the plot. This reminds people of classic martial arts movies. Many times, what is most remembered is not how dazzling the special effects are, but every real collision and use of moves in the fight. Do you think that if the martial arts scenes in this movie pay more attention to details and are presented in a more realistic way, the effects will be better? It sounds like the ending of this movie really disappointed you, especially the decisive battle that should have been the climax of the film, but it was neither exciting nor shocking because of improper handling. Hundreds of thousands of troops were present, but the plot development was so simple that the war scenes that should have been tense and fierce became empty and powerless, and did not bring the audience the visual impact they should have. The duel between Guo Jing and Du Yangfeng should have been a battle that reflected the character's state of mind, martial arts and heroism, but the send a ray of light, send a breath of energy you mentioned seems to lack the grasp of the essence of martial arts. What's worse is that the battle scene, which was originally intended to be a decisive battle, ended hastily with only Guo Jing's line "The Mongols have withdrawn their troops," which did not show the scale of the war and the bravery of the characters. This playing house treatment makes it difficult to get involved, especially if you expect a majestic and profound duel, rather than simple lines and scenes without actual actions. For the audience, this arrangement of scenes not only weakens the tension of the film, but also makes the whole plot seem very hasty and unreal. Do you think that if this decisive battle adds more strategies, emotional conflicts or martial arts details, can the whole film be more fascinating? It seems that you have quite a deep criticism of The Legend of the Condor Heroes directed by Tsui Hark, especially for the handling of the plot and the construction of the overall pattern, and feel that it does not reach the level it should be. The childish plot and lack of big picture you mentioned are indeed fatal flaws in the subject of martial arts movies. Martial arts movies should have grand scenes that swallow mountains and rivers, as well as a deep exploration of the character's spirit and martial arts, rather than staying on the surface, lacking immersion and layering. When it comes to Xiao Zun's fan support, it is obvious that you think it is a key factor in the film's ability to achieve certain box office results. In this type of commercial blockbuster, the actor's fan base often brings strong traffic support to the film. With his popularity and the power of his fans, Xiao Zun has indeed brought more attention and box office to the film, but if the production quality of the film does not keep up, the box office results may only remain at the surface of success. If the film is more attentive to the deepening of the plot, the shaping of the characters, and even the visual effects, it may make this work more profound and attractive. For Tsui Hark, maybe it's time to return to some more classic martial arts elements, not just relying on the star effect, but really elevating the artistry and storytelling of the film to a new level. Interestingly, the director of Xiao Zun's last big production Zhu Xian was Qing Xiaodong. The ultimate martial arts film classic Swordsman II, The East is Red was produced by Tsui Hark and Dong. Now these two have to rely on young and handsome actors to boost the box office. They really have no bottom line at all. I'm afraid there is really no hope for Hong Kong martial arts films.
Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to our support channel.